Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Geekdom For The Kingdom. As you can see, the subject is going to be Doctor Who. I'm here with my daughter, Esther Grace.
Hi!
Hi! Basically, we're going to talk about our fandom of Doctor Who, a little bit of background on what got us started in actually liking Doctor Who in the first place, and where we see Doctor Who going into the future, or at least our predictions of it, because... spoiler alert, it's tanking.
Oh, yeah.
It's going down like it's a dumpster fire right now. I'm like blown away by just how bad it's gotten.
Better.
Well,
Good.
I believe that. I mean, she's 13 years old, very smart, in theater right now. She actually is doing theater at this point in time and is doing a very good job of it.
Thank you.
You're just so special.
I know.
You got the. Well, part of this is that we want to just have fun, and we're probably going to be going down a few rabbit holes, which is perfectly fine. I'm totally okay with that. But we want to just kind of talk about, okay, well, Doctor Who. There's going to be other science fiction stuff we're going to talk about. We're probably going to talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate. We're going to talk.
A good one.
Stargate. What?
Stargate's a good one.
Stargate is a good one, although
you need to rewatch it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to rewatch it. We'll catch up on that. Plus, I know that you may want to bring your input into this, such as Harry Potter. I know you're a huge Harry Potter fan. I am so Harry Potter illiterate, it's not even funny. Okay, I don't know the difference between Gandalf and Voldemort. Well, I do know the difference between Gandalf and Voldemort. I'm not that stupid.
Who's the headmaster?
What?
Who's the headmaster?
Is it Dumbledore or
Dumbledore?
Dumbledore. Okay.
He's a dork, though.
Okay. Well, she'll. We'll do another episode, and I'll let her ramble on, and she can kind of educate me on that. And we'll probably. And here's the other thing. It's Geekdom For The Kingdom. So explanation of that is it's just something that kind of came to my head. I want to tie the gospel into some of these shows that we watch, and it's going to be. Sci-fi is one I'm really into, but I'm also into Marvel and DC. And there's a lot of talk going on about both of those at this point as well. Especially in today's culture. I don't know what's going on. It's like these shows, the writing skills are just going straight down the tubes. And I don't know why. Well, okay, I take that back. I do know why.
You've got to be inclusive.
It's inclusive.
You're sacrificing the story for inclusiveness, which I am all for inclusiveness, as long as you have a good story.
Yes. If you have the talent to write a really good story, I mean, over the years, progressive politics wasn't beaten over or thrown in our face on some of these shows. These were shows such as like Doctor Who, for example, that we're going to talk about today, that were they were beloved by people of all different walks of life. People with different political views, people, it's men and women and different races. It doesn't matter. Doctor Who is one of the shows, similar to Star Trek, that unified a lot of people, and it was just a fun thing to watch, to kind of take a break from the world, and its politics and all that stuff. So the sad part is that it's gone downhill in a way where now it's just politics in your face and, talking about climate change and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, for crying out loud, we don't want to be lectured. We just want to see a good story. And it's kind of just, unfortunately, it's not that good anymore. But we're going to reminisce a little bit, talking about like the positive ends of it, and then we'll kind of make some predictions on where it may go from there. And then, towards the end, I want to tie in the gospel a little bit to Doctor Who, and kind of, bring what I believe is a very important part of the story, tying in with the greatest story ever told, which is the story of Jesus Christ. So, let's start in, like, for example, and here's some questions. Here's just to kind of like, we're just kind of flying off the seat of our pants here, but part of what I want to do is questions. For example, what was the first Doctor Who episode you remember watching? And now, I will give you a forewarning here. I consider myself somewhat of a Whovian, but not hardcore. Like, I haven't memorized every single episode title. And, please forgive me, you guys who are die-hard Whovians. I'm just not I'm not there, but I can tell you, oh yeah, that's the episode where such and such did this, and it was the 10th Doctor, 11th, 12th, whatever. So anyway, going back to what is the first episode that you remember? I'll ask you this: what's the first episode you remember seeing from Doctor Who?
The one, the one in the library with the shadows that could kill you. Like, seriously, eat the flesh off your bones. That one gave me nightmares for like a week.
Yes. Yes.
That like scared me from Doctor Who. I was just like, okay, yeah, no.
So that was your first episode of Doctor Who that you remember?
I don't know. It's the first one I remember.
Oh, the first one you remember. Okay. Well, I was gonna say that was a great way to start, but apparently though you still liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The space suits though, like.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
when I was younger, like. Oof.
I
just like.
Well, I think some of you guys already guessed. That is the episode. It was the 10th Doctor, and it was also the first episode that River Song was introduced.
She's great.
Oh, I love Alex Kingston. She's just amazing, and her character as it develops, even into the 12th Doctor, who I'll get to later, I wasn't a big fan of. But even with meshing her with the 12th Doctor. She just lit up the screen. I'm a huge fan of her. I think her character was great. I think the actress is great. So definitely. All right. Well, on my end, the episode I remember first watching, because a little bit of history here. We came in late to Doctor Who. I've watched a few of the old school ones, like with the first 7 Doctors. I've seen the movie with the 8th Doctor. But as far as like watching Doctor Who, I didn't watch it from the beginning. I actually did not see it until 2013 during their 50th anniversary special. And so we caught in. That was during the 11th Doctor. My first episode was The Bells of St. John. And that, to me, still remains my favorite episode of all time. Or definitely in I would say my top 5. I think part of it is because it was the first Doctor Who episode I've seen. Plus, it was a really good episode. It's basically where the Doctor first... I'm totally blanking here.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay, Dr. Whatever. Anyway, well, it's Clara. Clara was... He was trying to recruit Clara as his companion. He was successful because he rescued her in this episode. And to me, it was a great episode. Okay, so... Second one is, what's your favorite Doctor so far that from the Doctor Who you've seen?
From the Doctors I've actually watched the episodes. From Style, it's definitely that dude on screen.
Okay, well, the one that just changed, was it the 6th Doctor or the 7th Doctor that we're watching right? The 6th Doctor. Style,
amazing.
Okay, go ahead.
But from the Doctors I've actually watched their episodes, it's a 3-way tie.
3-way tie between which Doctors?
David Tennant, Matt Smith, and the current one, 13th.
Okay, so...
I don't know her name.
Right, so 10th, 11th, and 13th Doctor. That's Jodie Whittaker is the name of that Doctor.
I wore a bow tie.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, do you guys notice her bow tie here? I don't know if you can see it or not.
You can.
Here, let me see if I can get to... There we go. You can. Oh, there you are. There you go. Yep, that's her bow tie.
I'm missing a fez.
Oh yeah, we don't have a fez.
No.
And now let's see here. I don't know if you can see it, but I am wearing my TARDIS shirt. This is who got this for me? It was for Christmas.
Yeah.
I know you guys are jealous of this. You guys are totally jealous of this.
I don't have any Doctor Who merch.
No, I don't. Oh.
Quick, buy me some.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. Okay. So, all right, well, the answer to that question is, I think my all-time favorite Doctor is definitely the 11th. The 10th Doctor is very close behind. I do like the 9th Doctor a lot. Some people are kind of iffy about him. I think that he did a great job. Christopher Ferguson, the actor behind him, I think he did a great job. I wish he actually did more seasons. However, David Tennant knocked it out of the park. My wife ended up binge-watching all of the David Tennant episodes before I had a chance to even see it, because we were currently watching the Matt Smith episodes, the 11th Doctor, and we were enjoying it totally. And the 50th anniversary special, that was amazing. That was when we're 10th and 11th Doctor, and you
yes, that was Amazing. The best.
That was the absolute best. It was funny. It was well written.
It had fezzes.
It had fezzes. I mean, for crying out loud, the 10th Doctor wore a fez. I don't think the War Doctor did. He did. He picked it up. I don't think he wore it. No, he didn't wear it. The War Doctor. Him right here.
He should have.
He should have. But he was kind of more.
He looked great in a fez.
Oh, and he's a great actor too.
Mm.
I think it's William Hurt is the name of that actor. Very famous British actor. The guy's amazing. I've seen him in other stuff, and he also knocks it out of the park. Okay, favorite sonic screwdriver. Do you have a favorite one?
Not really. They're all cool, except for sonic sunglasses.
Oh, that was.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
what's that? Oh, I know they had reasoning behind it. They explained it once. It was like something like, so anybody that wanted something that was like a sonic screwdriver can have, like if you have a pair of sunglasses, that's your sonic or something. I think that's what they said. I don't remember.
Just get a screwdriver.
It was like, oh my gosh, yes, I know. And it was, take a guess, the 12th Doctor, which is, yeah, I'll get into it in just a minute.
I like him though.
I do kind of like him in the latter seasons. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Well, worst Doctor that you've seen so far. Which one do you least like?
Yeah, I guess it'd have to be him.
What, the 12th?
Yeah, because I really like the 13th Doctor's character.
Okay.
Do not like the story.
I do, yeah.
Well, I like the first couple episodes. Like, those were great. Like, the new characters are amazing. I love them.
Right.
Like, cool. Black representation. Yes. Terrible story writing? No.
Yeah, that's here's the thing. Like, you know, when you talk about, and I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but when you talk about, like, the current Doctor Who episodes now, like this current season with the 13th Doctor, and basically they retconned the entire storyline. What I mean by retcon, I don't know if you know the term or not, but basically they completely changed the storyline. This show has been around for over 50 years, and it's almost like they just took a dump on it, really. Especially like the first Doctor, William Hartnell. I mean, you know, and then also the original creators of Doctor Who. It's like, this is not where the story should have gone. There's certain things you just don't touch, and that was one of them. You don't mess with the original Doctor. The original first Doctor is William Hartnell, and to turn the storyline, and on top of that, here's the other thing that really bugged me about how they're doing it now, is the fact that there's kind of a mystery about the fact that, you know, we didn't know the origins of the Doctor. You know, we kind of knew the origins of the Master, which, you know, that was somewhat, you know, it was, I mean, and that was fine, you know, because the Master was pretty cool, and, you know, definitely a cool villain, but the big thing I really cannot stand was the fact that, you know, they're trying to, into doing something that's supposed to be, like, inclusive and diverse and all that stuff, they basically just, what would be the way to say it? I'm sorry. All I'm going to say about this one is that they really just took a dump on the story. We didn't need to know the origins of the Doctor. That was kind of the cool part about the fact that, especially a show that has lasted this long, you know, there's certain mysteries you don't have to explain. But he took, I mean, this new writer, and I forgot his name off the top of my head. I can't stand this guy. This guy has
got a couple names for him.
Oh, I'm sure. We're trying to keep it PG. We should anyway. Yeah. But, you know, I'm sorry, but this guy, he can't write a story to save his life. And go ahead.
Like, everything he's written up, like, from the start, like, oh, the first Doctor is a black woman. Mm-hmm. Like, not canon at all.
No.
Nope.
And
nope.
Nope. Not our Doctor. In fact, here, yeah. It's her right here.
I mean, she looks like she could be a cool character.
Well, okay. Well,
not the first Doctor.
No, not the first Doctor. Or, here's something else, okay? I have nothing against this actress. I don't even know this actress, okay? But this was, she's introducing herself as the first Doctor, you know? And, of course, she is a black woman. Now, do I care that she's a black woman?
Nah.
No. But what I know, the motives behind this is not cool. It's just to be inclusive. It is just a progressive inclusiveness that it's not, and it wasn't even written good. It wasn't even a good story. It was just basically their way of retconning it to the way they want it to turn out. Now, here's something that, I was thinking about this before I even started this video. If she became the 13th Doctor, I wouldn't have cared.
Oh, cool.
In fact, I'd be like, okay, let's give this a shot. Just like I was with Jodie Whittaker. The idea of a woman doctor, I was a little bit skeptical on. Okay. Just as long, if they have a good story, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I really like her. She's cool. She's bubbly. She's fun. You could barely understand her, but that's great.
Well, here's the thing. She reminds me of a female David Tennant. Like a female 10th Doctor. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? At that point in time when she first started, I was just like, okay, whatever. If it's not the 12th Doctor, I am fine with it. Because I was just so done with him.
Also, I love the expressions, like, when people say, like, that one scene where the governor was like, oh, so you're the Doctor, and went up to the old man, and she's just like, excuse me, I am. I'm like, yes.
Well, the thing is about, okay, so I'll, before I even go back to, not the first Doctor. Let me talk about the 12th Doctor real quick. Now, obviously, I thought very highly of Matt Smith, and we were catching it later, and there was, at that time, everybody's like, okay, what's the next Doctor going to be? And then in the Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary, you got to see his eyes and his big giant eyebrows. I knew it was Peter Capaldi. And I've seen some of his stuff, and I was actually kind of excited at first. I'm like, okay, this guy, I think this guy can really do it. He seems like he'll do a good job. Probably bring a different effect to it.
He looks like he has the Doctor vibes.
Yeah, I thought
just a bit more stern.
A bit more stern, like more kind of aggressive in some cases. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this guy a shot. First season with him in it, I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't like him. I cannot stand this guy. He's too much of a grouch. I mean, like, he's standoffish. And,
like, smile once in a while, dude.
For crying out loud, you're the Doctor. So I think, and you know what? Here's the thing. I think people were hearing it, and I noticed, like, the 12th Doctor character, as the season progressed, actually started getting better. He really started getting better.
Which is cool, because, like, character development. Like, this really grouchy old man.
Right, and he started
actually
learning.
Smiles now.
Yes, he started learning. I think he learned a lot from Clara, and on top of it, the other companions that were eventually with him. If he was the same Doctor in the last season he was in as he was in the first, I probably wouldn't have been so angry with him, or I probably would have liked him a lot more, to be honest. But by the time you actually start liking the character, all of a sudden they're turning it into the 13th Doctor. So it's like, okay, whatever. The storylines were pretty good for the most part, even though I didn't like the Doctor. But I started seeing a decline. I started seeing, like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to like where this is going to go. And on top of that, Stephen Moffat was going to leave. And I still can't remember. Chris Chibnall, I think his name is, the new executive producer writer, was going to take over. And I didn't know much about this guy. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see where it goes. And lo and behold, the first season with the 13th Doctor was forgettable. I really, it's like, I wasn't like, but it's just like, I don't like where this is going. Like, you need to do something better. Start bringing, like, old characters that were in the past into it.
I mean, they brought the Master.
Not really. Well, they did, but it's like, for crying out loud, what the heck happened? Like, Missy died.
Yeah.
Or so we thought. I mean, it is Doctor Who, so anything happened, but, like, the Master does a complete 180 and is just completely, like, insane and, like, almost on, like, a toddler on drugs. He's like,
that's a really accurate description, though.
Well, yeah, like a twisted out toddler. Like, he's just, and he started out very mellow, and you actually like him. He's kind of a cool looking character, very handsome, and then all of a sudden, like, he becomes the Master, and all of a sudden now he's like crazy, like ding 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 ding,
Like, honestly though, like I'd rather him be. I'm trying to talk. Why? Though if he was more the cool suave villain, I would have liked him so much more. But yeah, toddler on drugs.
Yeah, toddler on drugs, basically. It wasn't smooth and cool like the previous Masters were. I mean, they're insane, but they were like, and I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it, except, like, Missy started out, like, really insane, but then, like, kind of grew on you, and then she became more, like, she started allying with the Doctor and wanting to win, basically, win the Doctor over and go to the light side or go to become more of a good guy. You know, basically like the Master has finally learned after all these years. You know, and the Doctor, it was like the Doctor finally achieved something because the Doctor was always trying to help the Master. Like, and I'm like thinking, if it was me, like if I had an opportunity to kill you, I'd kill you. But not the Doctor. This Doctor, all the Doctors that have ever encountered him tried to help him one way or another.
All the doctors, they really want to preserve life.
Right.
They don't really want to kill.
No, they don't.
Even the War Doctor. Even the War
Doctor, in a way, like they didn't like, you know, they didn't want it. They don't like guns. You know, they don't like, you know, it's now you saw there was a couple of times where they did.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of when the 10th Doctor with that big old the episode where with the big old nasty spider alien.
Oh, yeah.
They wiped out all their babies and all that stuff. I mean, he did it because he knew that this alien was going to basically eat the people of Earth. And so Earth is his baby. You don't mess with Earth. And that just goes to show, like, he's the Earth's protector. And that basically Earth was his gem, and he didn't care what or she in some cases too, you know, depending on what season you're in. They don't care, like, who gets in the way. I will take care of this planet regardless, you know, and they're going to do it in any ways they possibly can, in any ways they seem necessary to do so. But for the most part,
but they try to stay as peaceful as possible.
They try, and you know, like I said,
which is a very admirable trait.
It is a very admirable trait. And so I'm going to kind of go down the I'm going to switch gears here when it comes to as far as talking about the future of the Doctor. Now, the last couple of episodes, one was The Prisoner of Jadu, I believe it was, where we got introduced to her.
I still need to watch it. I haven't watched it.
Right. Well, I've seen the reviews now, and I've seen a lot of different things on it, and I've watched some of it, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding. I am so upset about that. And then the last one was even worse than that, which was the Timeless Child. Remember, you gotta remember. Forgive me, because sometimes I don't remember the names. Timeless Child was basically explaining the origin of the Doctor and Gallifreyans in general. To sum it up, basically, let me see here.
Was that the one where Gallifrey was in a picture?
No, you're thinking of the Day of the Doctor, the 50th, and basically, there's a woman, a Gallifreyan, I believe she was from Gallifrey, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm messing this up, but I'm just going to basically paraphrase it. Discovers this child from another dimension, and I guess adopts the child, and the child somehow like gets into an accident, is killed, but then when the child is killed, regenerates into another child, another different looking child, and that fascinated her, and so she decided to run experiments, and the Masters explained this to the 13th Doctor, this whole origin thing. And all these experiments, she multiply killed this child, like several times, where there's no count of how many times she killed this child to regenerate and do experiments. And then eventually she cracked the code on how to regenerate, took the regenerating, was able to come up with the regenerating abilities, put it into herself, and then she was able to regenerate into another person, namely a man. And then started the whole Gallifreyan Time Lord race. And so they built Gallifrey out of that. Here's the thing. I mean, that's definitely like just summing it up right there. I was disappointed. I was extremely disappointed that they even went there. You know, the mystery behind it is what kind of kept the appeal of Doctor Who.
Just let Gallifrey be Gallifrey.
Yeah,
why can't there just be random space aliens that can regenerate?
Right.
Why not?
So what they basically did, so here's the thing that really upset me. The Timeless Child, spoiler alert, is the Doctor. Okay? Doctor obviously forgot about all this. But that means that, like, for example, like, we have the 9th Doctor show up. That's not the 9th Doctor. That could be the 10,500th Doctor or something like that. It messes everything up that we've come to know about Doctor Who that's been around for over 50 years. That I don't like.
So is there a point where they just stop remembering? Like, did none of them remember the
No.
first female?
I guess they
first
don't.
Doctor?
I can't remember how they explained it, but there's a reason why that the 13th Doctor did not remember any of that. That the memory that the 13th Doctor had started with what we know is the first Doctor, and that's William Hartnell. Of course, you know, where else they go from there, I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is, after seeing that, I have no desire to watch any more Doctor Who from there. Unless they completely redo that storyline and say, "Oh, this was just a bad dream." Yeah, apology video. Yeah, we we need to have an apology video from.
We need the messy ponytails. If there are any girls working on the writing.
Oh yeah, there are.
Oh, yeah.
There's a ton of them.
Well, we need the messy ponytails. We need the mascara straight down, the crying, all that. All that's necessary.
You are going to weep at our feet, is what basically she's saying right now.
Yes. Please do.
Weep at our feet. No, okay. I don't know if I want to go down that road. But
I
it's
just
a
want them
tempting
to
thought.
redo the story. That's it. They don't have to weep.
Kind of like what I want them to do with. I want them to forget the whole entire Star Wars Disney trilogy. You know, the Disney fan fiction trilogy, as I call it. I want them to forget that. But that's going to be for another topic.
Yeah.
Because I can really go off on that, which we will. But, okay. So, that's I mean, and Esther, you still haven't seen it yet. So, I think you should have the opportunity. Form my own opinions. Yeah, form your own opinion. I don't want it to always be based on mine. But
I won't let it always be based on yours.
I know, because you're my stubborn 13-year-old daughter is what, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to do my own research, because then I can absolutely destroy you with facts.
Okay, why do you want to destroy me with facts? I use facts too, believe it or not. You know, I do put some feelings into it. I get it. You know, I'm a little more emotional sometimes. But you're really sassy. For Pete's sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so, anyway, what I want to do now is, alright, so, I want to tie this into where the gospel stands on it. Now, as you guys can see from my handle, Pastor G, I'm a pastor. I've been youth and associate pastor at my church here in Michigan. Actually, now, my daughter is now part of my youth group, which is weird. She got to start last year doing that. It's just, she's growing up. It's my oldest. I have I'm the father of a teenager now. It's amazing.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay, responsibilities.
Responsibilities. Yeah, you're going to come to find out, like, as you get older, that, you know, you need to be more responsible and all that stuff. You're still young, you know, enjoy your childhood while you have it and all that stuff. And the fun doesn't always stop. It's just, there's more bills. When you get to my age, you get to my age, there's more bills.
The funniest thing, when you said more bills, my mind immediately went to Bill Cipher.
What's Bill Cipher?
He's from Gravity Falls. He's the main villain, I guess. I think he's funny.
Okay. All right. So here's where I want to go from here. Like I said, I want to bring the gospel into it. I am going to show you this website is daniellee.com. He wrote an article or a blog, I should say. I'm not sure. Connecting the gospel according to Doctor Who. Now, I would encourage you guys to check the whole website out, but I want to focus on this one section here in closing this video today. It's titled, as you can see, Humanity is Worth Saving. I'm going to read it to you. There's something about the human race that is special and lovely and brilliant in the sight of the Doctor. Other alien species cannot figure out why the Doctor would go through so much effort to protect the pale blue dot of a planet. The Doctor sees what others cannot. He sees the beauty, the potential, the perseverance, and the endurance of our species. He knows our will to survive, but he also knows our inability to save ourselves. So time and time again, the Doctor eagerly and willingly saves the Earth and the human race from certain destruction. That's what we all want deep down inside. Someone to fight for us even though we don't deserve it. We long for someone to love us for us, not because of what we can give in return. We want someone who can look past the fallenness and the brokenness, the sinfulness, and love us anyway. That's exactly what God gives us. But God demonstrates His own love for us in this. While we are still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8. So where I want to go from here is basically, despite the fact that the human race is frail, the human race is a fallen. We're a fallen species. We're a shattered creation. Much like the fact that the Doctor is a Gallifreyan. He can pick any planet he wants in any time period he wants. The TARDIS can not only go through space, but can go through time. But yet he focuses on Earth. Falls in love with this planet, despite its faults, despite all the issues that human beings bring to the table, and the fact that, we put ourselves in a lot of issues. Sometimes, in the show, sometimes we do it to ourselves, other times aliens come after us or whatever, and he saves us. The point I'm trying to make is that God, through Jesus, sees you as worthy. You have been made worthy through Jesus Christ. You matter to Him. I mean, if you look at the grand scheme, the Creator, because the Time Lord is an alien from a distant planet, a very powerful race, but God is the Creator of all things in the universe. And yet, He focuses in on you, and you matter so much to Him that His Son died for your sins. That's where you can do the connection here between the Doctor and Jesus Christ, in the sense that you might not feel worthy. We're not worthy. We're just human beings in a fallen world. A fallen world that we created because God created the paradise and we chose to bring sin into the world, which caused the destruction of the planet and our race. But here's the thing. The hope is Jesus Christ died for our sins. He brought us back. His death and resurrection brought us back in connection with God. And despite anything you may have done in your life, and it doesn't matter, I don't care where you've been and what you've done, and He doesn't either. You are worthy to Him. The maker of heaven and earth cares about you. However insignificant you might think yourself to be, or however great you might think to be, God loves you, and He wants a relationship with you. Give Him a chance to save you. Give your life to Him. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus Christ and believe with your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. It's that simple. It's not always that easy. But the simple part of the gospel is it's about confession. You confess. You tell Him, Jesus, you are my Lord. And believe with your heart. Because you can't have one without the other. If you confess and say, Jesus is my Lord, you have to believe it. If you don't believe what you're saying, it's worthless. What I'm telling you right now is that Christ is calling for you. If you're watching this right now, you might have came for Doctor Who, which is good. A couple of silly people just chilling out, talking about, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Doctor Who. But if you're watching this right now, I don't think it's a coincidence. If you made it this far without turning the video off, and I thank you for that. God loves you. Christ died for you so you can be connected with Him, so you can be saved and spend eternity with Him. This world is going to bring you trouble, as Jesus said, but take heart, I have overcome the world, John 16:33. Put your trust in Him, and He will save you and take care of you, especially during this crisis right now. Part of the reason why, people have more time on their hands, like including us, people are quarantined in fear of this virus.
The great toilet paper shortage of
toilet
2020.
Yeah, I know. How sometimes and here's the thing, like you walk through a grocery store. I remember, when I was at Walmart, I'm walking through and I'm like embarrassed for humanity. And and that's me, and I'm imperfect. I am not perfect by any means. Just because I'm a pastor doesn't mean I'm above anybody else. I'm with everyone here. I am a sinner just like anybody. But the thing is that Christ has saved me. I put my trust in Jesus because He is the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. So my trust is in Him. He made me righteous. It's not my righteous. My righteous is a filthy rags, as the book of Isaiah says. But Christ has made me. He put His righteousness on me. And He wants to do that with you if you haven't already. So I encourage you. I'm going to put a prayer down in the description and in the bio of or in the description of this video. I encourage you guys to read it, pray it, and take that step. And if you did, let me know in the comment section. Because you know what? He wants you. He wants to help you in any way he can. Kind of like the doctor, that especially that one episode where Pompeii was being the volcano at Pompeii was going off, and he came over and he reached out to help a family. He wants to save you like that. He wants to save you from destruction. Give him a chance. You won't be disappointed. All right? Got anything else to say? Alrighty. Well, that concludes Geekdom for the Kingdom. This is Pastor G and my beautiful daughter Esther Grace. Thank you for joining us, and let us know in the comments what you think. Answer the questions that we did, and if you gave your life to Christ, if you were born again, let us know. We definitely want to hear from you. Take care, and God bless.